Hey everybody, it's Cooper here, and welcome to another answer video. And if you guys have any questions you'd like me to answer in a future video, follow the link in the top of the description. You can post your questions in the comment section of that question video, and then hopefully, you'll see your question answered in a future video. And I'm kind of running low on questions. I've been receiving less than I've been putting into the videos, so if you can think of any, please post them there, and you'll see them in a future answer video. So our first question comes from 60 Formula, and they ask, do you take game donations? I have extra games I get from collecting that I can throw your way. And I think this is a question that I've answered a long time ago, or I may have referenced it at some point in, a couple years ago at least. So I think it's fitting to answer this one again. And usually when people contact me, they're trying to donate something to my collection. I normally will try and turn it into a trade of some sort to kind of make it more fair. I don't think that just accepting games as donations is something that I really want to do. If you guys have anything that you'd like to make, if you have any custom items that you want to, if you're gonna make something artistic, if you're gonna draw or paint or something like that, I would gladly take anything like that. But as far as like video games or systems and stuff like that, I usually would like to try and turn it into a trade. For example, I do have a custom painted Nintendo 64 and matching controller that D-Man Swish made for me, and he put my logo on the system and everything, so something like that I have no problem accepting. But if you guys have any games that you feel like you'd like to donate to my collection, just let me know, maybe we can work out a trade. And just for anyone who is interested, the best way to contact me most likely is through my Facebook page, which you can find a link to in the description of every video that I post. The next question comes from Ashley Story, and she asks, what would you say is your most unique item in your collection? And this one I had to think about for a little bit. It's kind of hard to choose. A couple videos ago, I showed you a collection that I purchased from an ex-Nintendo employee, and most of the stuff that I got from him is really unique. A lot of prototype items and stuff like that. If you guys haven't seen the video, please check my channel. It's only a couple days... It was only uploaded a couple days before this one you're watching now. And tons of awesome stuff. It's a super long video, so grab a snack and sit back and watch it. But there's a lot of really unique items in there, employee items and promotional stuff that just was not available to the general public. But I think the most unique item in my collection, coming from him, is a brand new, unused, complete set of 4 Game Boy Advance 2001 launch glasses. And you can see them in that video. It's the second to last item that I showed, so it's right near the end of the video there if you want to skip to that part and see them. But they are extremely cool. They've got to be super rare. I couldn't find any information about them on Google at all. Of course, nothing on eBay or anything like that, but just nothing at all. So I think that would have to be my most unique item. Our next question comes from the Mike Vision. And he says, hey Cooper, just like you, I have a passion for collecting/playing games, but also for drumming and music. I was wondering what your current kit setup consists of, and who are some of your favorite drummers? So, if some of you guys have been following me for a long time, you guys will know that I am a drummer, I am a musician, I play in a death metal band called Monotheist, and he's asking what my current kit setup is, and I would show it instead of just talking about it, but it's in a room in the house which is kind of used as like a storage room, so it's really messy. There's no lights in there either, so it'd be very hard to show you guys, so I will just talk about it. But I have... Basically my setup is pretty simple, and it's very limited right now. I basically just have a Roland TD6 electronic drum kit with an upgraded TD8 kick pedal, and I have a pair of Axis Longboard double pedals, and that's basically it. It's very minimal, and I've had that kit forever. It's just something that's easy to practice on without disturbing the neighbors and everything. Any acoustic drums that I have are at Tyler's house in Florida. He's one of the guitar players in my band, and obviously I live in Washington. The band's in Florida. I flew down to record our newest album last September, and yeah, so my setup here is very simple. The kit that I have there is kind of like half mine, half Tyler's. We kind of combined two kits that we had, and of course there's like a million symbols and everything. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that portion of the question. As far as some of my favorite drummers go, there are quite a few drummers that I think are very good, and I kind of limit myself. I will kind of limit myself to the metal scene, basically because that's the kind of music that I enjoy the most. Of course, there are awesome drummers who play jazz and rock and everything else, but for the sake of answering this question, I'm just going to stick to metal. So definitely George Callias from Nile. He is a great drummer. But for me, I like watching drummers more than I do listening to them. So I like to watch a lot of YouTube drummers, actually. People who post videos on there. Samus from Decrepit Birth, he does a lot of drumming videos. He's really good. David Diepold, he does a lot of drum covers. He's done covers of Cattle Decapitation, Nile, Flesh God Apocalypse, and he's hitting the songs note for note. He's playing them even better than the originals, so he is very good. Another one is Alex from Good Tiger. He used to be in the Faceless. Great drummer. But yeah, those are some of my favorites. Our next question comes from Patrick Little, and he asks, after selling your whole collection, you seem to have built it back up really fast. What is your number one source/tip for achieving that? And I think I kind of referenced this in another video that I posted recently, but basically the way that I've been able to amass this collection so quickly, at the current point, it's been about 9 or 10 months that I've been collecting. And the way that I've done it is, honestly, I don't really look for anything specific. I'm collecting for, everything from Atari 2600 and a television all the way up to 3DS and Wii U. So anything in between there, I'm going for complete collections for, essentially. And I know that it's a huge goal and it's a very far off goal, but it always gives me something to find. If you are only trying to collect the specific games that you had as a kid, or you're trying to collect all the Mario and Zelda titles or something like that, it really limits the amount of items that you can find, especially if you're trying to find stuff in person. If you go on eBay, there's a million copies of every Mario and Zelda game posted. You can find whatever you want instantly. But the way that I'm doing it, I'm trying to get everything in person. I am buying a little bit of stuff off of eBay here and there, but I'm mainly focusing on trying to find stuff at thrift stores, pawn shops, through Craigslist deals and Facebook deals, and through retro video game stores and stuff like that. So, not looking for anything specific, it gives me a lot of options to pick things up, and honestly, most of the stuff I have has come from Goodwills. And, every time I go, every Goodwill that I go to, I might find one or two games, and maybe they're just filler titles for the Wii or for the PS2, but every once in a while I'll find something really awesome. And, if I'm finding one or two games per stop and I'm going to, 50 Goodwills a month or so, it adds up pretty quick. So, I guess that's basically it. If you are looking for anything specific, you're going to have a harder time building up your collection quickly. But if you're going for complete collections like I am, where you need to get those filler titles and those shovelware games anyway, it's a lot easier to find stuff like that at thrift stores and garage sales and stuff like that. And our last question comes from Batty Boy Holden, and they say, what's the most you've ever spent on a single video game promotional piece, either in your first or second collection? From both, I can see you also love to collect promotional pieces, and they're all a fortune where I live. I know different pieces vary in size, so I'll just say something like the most expensive standee and figure. Keep up the great work and have a good day. So, it's kind of hard to say for my current collection, because the only kind of figures or promotional pieces really that I have now, aside from like figures and statues and stuff, all the promotional pieces I have come from that collection that I just bought from the ex-Nintendo employee. And it's hard to say what I paid per item because I just bought the entire collection for a bulk cost, so it's really hard to say. If I had to guess, I'd say the neon Nintendo 64 sign, which was the main reason I purchased that collection. And in my head, when I came to the price that I paid for the collection, I wasn't paying what he was asking for the sign. In the end, I was actually paying about half of what he was asking, and then the rest of the collection made up for the rest of that. But originally, he was asking $400 for the sign, and obviously I paid more than $400 for the entire collection. So I guess if I paid $400 for it, which in my mind I didn't, that would be the most I've ever spent on a promotional item. Even in my last collection, the Nintendo 64 kiosk, I paid $350. The GameCube kiosk, I think I paid about $200 to $250. The Virtual Boy sign, I only paid like $20 or $30 for. So, yeah, I think, it's got to be one of those. The Wii kiosk I had, I only paid $150. So, yeah, I've been very lucky with finding promotional items and display items and stuff like that. And I don't think I've really paid too much for any single item. There might be something that I'm forgetting. I might be leaving out something that maybe is super obvious that I should remember. But off the top of my head, I think if you look at it as me paying $400 for the N64 sign, that's the most. And if not, then it's probably $350 for my previous collection when I bought the Nintendo 64 kiosk. And that was actually through a Craigslist deal. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope that I answered all your guys' questions to your liking. So, like I said, I'm short on questions. So if you can think of anything, please click the link in the top of the description to my question video and post all your questions there. Feel free to ask multiple questions, either in one comment, or if you post a question and then a couple days later you think of something else, you can post another one. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.